Good evening and welcome to the Municipality of Monroeville's Citizens Night meeting for April 2nd, 2019. Would all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay, yes. But yes.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. All of council is in attendance tonight, other than Mr. Johns, who could not be here this evening. Tonight we're going to start with a proclamation for National Library Week, which is April 7th through the 13th. We have the library board here to celebrate with us this evening, and its director. So I have a proclamation of the Honorable Dr. Nicholas J. Griesock, Mayor of the Municipality of Monroeville, Pennsylvania, recognizing the week of April 7th through the 13th, 2019 as National Library Week. Whereas today's libraries are not just about books, but what they can do for and with people. Whereas libraries of all types are the heart of cities, towns, schools, and campuses where people of all backgrounds can be together and connect. And whereas libraries and librarians build strong communities through transformative services, programs, and expertise. And whereas libraries promote civic engagement by keeping people informed and aware of community events and issues, partnering with other civic organizations to make sure their community's needs are being met. And whereas libraries are a resource for all members of the community, regardless of race, ethnicity, creed, ability, sexual orientation, gender identity, or socioeconomic status, by offering services and educational resources that transform lives and strengthen communities. And whereas libraries, librarians, library workers, and supporters across America are celebrating National Library Week. Therefore, be it resolved that I, Nicholas J. Griesock, Mayor of Monroeville, proclaim National Library Week, April 7th through the 13th, 2019 in Monroeville, Pennsylvania. I encourage all residents to visit the library this week and beyond, exploring all the library has to offer, realizing that literacy is power, and that libraries provide the fuel to move Pennsylvania forward. Congratulations. Does anyone from the group want to address council?
Sure. Thank you. I have my usual spiel about what's happening at the library, but we made it fancier because Joe's going to play a very short video of pictures of things that have been going on lately at the library while I tell you about the things that are coming up.
Great.
As always, I'd like to take a moment to thank council, the mayor, the manager, our library board, and the Friends of the Library for supporting us every day. And I would like to take the opportunity to thank the staff, our largest asset. They work hard every day to make sure the best possible opportunities and services are available. As Mayor Griesock has already proclaimed, next week is National Library Week, and it's a time to celebrate the unique ways that our nation's libraries provide education, connection, and community to all. In 2018, Joe, do you want to play the video? Thank you. In 2018 alone, over 164,000 people came to the library, with 375,000 items circulated. We also had over 21,000 community members attend more than 1,000 programs, including our New Year's Eve ball drop, teen after-school program, interfaith panel discussions, children's story times, computer classes, and coding classes in our Maker Lab. So the Monroeville Public Library would like to welcome all to join us in celebrating National Library Week next week. Tuesday should be especially tasty. The staff will be providing cookies for the public that they have prepared themselves, as will some of our board members. We're also doing a program, this is the third year, called Food for Fines. And any people who bring in non-perishable items, for each item brought in, you get $1 off fines that you have on your card. If you don't have fines right now, you can get a certificate so you can pay off fines that you might accrue later. So stop by any day of the week for a sweet treat and a chance to win great prizes. There are also several raffle baskets. In addition to next week being National Library Week, April is Money Smart Month. We have multiple programs for a variety of ages to help people better understand their money and financial literacy. Wednesday, April 17th, will be Introduction to Investing. Tuesday, April 23rd, a program called It's Good to Be Queen, How Women Can Achieve Financial Sovereignty. And on April 24th, join us to learn about your credit score and how to take concrete steps now to improve it. And on April 6th, from 11 to 12, children ages 11 and younger are invited to create a piggy bank and learn about how to save money and make money grow. So we've recently had a turnout of just under 100 for kindergarten registration event that we did in partnership with the school district. The district felt that it was a success, and we look forward to working with them in the future to reach as many families as possible. And last but not least, on Monday, April 29th, we will have our newest interfaith panel. The topic is going to be end-of-life decisions, simultaneously secular and sacred. Members of the Monroeville Interfaith Ministerium will discuss end-of-life decisions within their respective faith traditions. Those are just a few of the programs and events coming up. Check out our website or newsletter for more. And please join us next week to celebrate National Library Week, especially if you haven't stopped by lately. The library has much to offer in person and online. We hope to see you soon. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you,
Great job, Nicole. And I will
Thank you.
present this proclamation to you.
Thank you. Can we actually bring up the board to take one picture?
I agree.
Eric.
Yeah, I'm here that way too. I'm coming. Yeah, I'll wait till the tall guys are done. It's always distracting.
I'm not saying I disagree, I'm saying.
All right, good job. Hey, Joe. Joe,
Well, that's my point about the fee. Yes, sir.
I'm down to one hearing aid. Can you turn up my volume back here? No, I got Joe downstairs. Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, and thanks to the board for coming out this evening and all the great things they do for the library and for our community. It is a tremendous asset here for Monroeville, and once again, I want to encourage everybody to get down to the library. If you have fines, now's the time to pay them off. Great. All right, council, we're going to move over to our Citizens Night meeting, the Citizens Night portion of the meeting for remarks and comments. So if there's anyone that has signed in this evening to address council, now would be your time. It's for any municipal item. We ask for a 5-minute time limit, just to keep the meeting moving forward. So if anyone has signed in, now would be your chance to address council.
Good evening.
And if you could just slide over to that podium there, maybe you could state your name for the record and that you are a Monroeville resident.
My name's Mary Ann McConnell. I live at 428 Scarlet View Court, Monroeville.
And did you sign in?
I did.
Great. Welcome.
And I'm also the president of the Asbury 2 HOA. And many people are here from Asbury 1 and Asbury 2 to ask about Cabot Road and what the status of the road is and what the plans are to repair the road because of, the need for us to go down through Alpine Village now since the road is closed. This is the third time in about 14 years that road has had a problem, so we're looking for some answers.
Yeah, our geotechnical engineering firm, they've recently assessed the situation and they're developing a remediation plan. But at this point, there's not a timeline as far as how long it's going to take, but they are actively working on it right now. Mr. Egan, does that sum it up, or is there anything else?
Pretty much, yeah. There's no definite plan in place at this point. They're still evaluating the core boring information that they have did 2 weeks ago.
And how long do you think that'll be, Paul?
I expect to have some interest by the end of this week or next week.
And we can let the folks know.
Yes.
And is there funding to repair the road?
I'm saying yes.
It has to be done, so
Yeah,
we have to find a way to do it. So we're not going to just let the road stay closed.
It's there.
Hi, my name's Philip Nutter. I'm actually from Asbury too also.
You
I
just
really
signed in,
didn't.
Philip.
Yes, I did.
Great,
I
thank you.
signed in.
Thank you.
I live at 426 Scarlet View in the same building that Mary Ann lives in. I've been there since 2004. One of the main reasons why I moved there, it was extremely convenient for me to get to work, coming straight down Cabot, crossing over 22, crossing over 286, and I can get to work nice and easy. It's the inconvenience of it all, and I don't know if you guys really can appreciate what's happening because of Cabot Road being closed on our end. It's not just us, but everybody that would exit Cabot Road to the 22 side where JD Byrider is the final and the bottleneck that it creates from 286 under 22 right at that complex where Speedway is. I came home from work today down 286 because I couldn't come up and cross 22 to come up because the road's closed. I literally waited, I don't know if you guys have ever been there, but I literally waited 20 minutes on 286, waiting in traffic to turn left to get across 22 to get onto Alpine Village Drive. I think the biggest reason why I'm here is just to make sure that you guys are taking this very seriously.
Yeah.
Oh, most certainly. There's no doubt. I mean,
and-
right now, it is a safety concern, and we have to have the road closed, but we
Yeah.
are moving as
And,
fast as
and we
can.
understand that. We went through it before when we moved there in 2004, and I'm just hoping that, you know, it's going to be done rather quickly rather than waiting another 6 months or a year before this thing is open. That's why I'm here.
I think the engineering department, probably the rest of the council, I'm just speaking for myself, wants to make sure that it's done properly, so we're not going through this again.
Yeah, and I think
Sometimes-
that's, you know, when I
sometimes that
saw that,
causes
when I
time.
saw it collapsing, of course, my thought was, why didn't they do this right the first time? This should not be happening. And, you know, as you guys are going to blame the engineers, my thought on it is somebody needed, I would imagine it could be guaranteed. I don't know the original guys that did the work on it, but that's your problem to deal with, and I just wanted to voice my concern.
No, we
Thank you
understand
so
your
much.
concerns.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Paul, wasn't
He said
the
he's
state
already
involved
signed
in that last time as far as the wall?
Yes, Stephen,
ribbing.
it was a cooperative effort. The PennDOT constructed the wall, and then the municipality reconstructed Cabot Road, and that was in 2005.
Now, they say there's a bulge in that wall?
No, the wall is not bulging.
Yeah, because I came by there yesterday,
No, sir.
and I
Is it?
didn't notice a bulge.
No, I went by it today.
So would the state be involved with this also?
No, it's outside. We put them on notice. It's outside of the right of way.
All right,
You know what
thank
the
you.
answer to that is.
Thank you. You just
Hi.
sign in, please.
Yeah, I have signed in. My name is Lynn Coker-Zeke. I live at 117 Asbury Court in Asbury 1. We've been there since the year 2000, so we lived through this, the first closure, which, as you guys are all aware, was 30 months long, which is what we're really hoping we don't go through that again. What I wanted to explain was our concerns around the closure. First, getting emergency vehicles up to Cabot Road, or up into Asbury via Cabot Road is taking longer. So fire trucks, ambulances, police, getting them up there is as that takes longer, is clearly a concern, a safety concern for us. Also, Cabot Road itself is not particularly travelable, I guess I would say. It's very windy. I would expect that emergency vehicles trying to get through there may have a problem, especially when there is a need to get there quickly. So that would be, I would raise that as a concern as well. Some of the neighbors cited the inconvenience. I would also ask that while the road closure continues, that there is correct signage that is posted. Right now, it just says road closed. There's no detour posted. At the far end of Cabot Road, the far end of Cabot Road, it just says road closed. It doesn't say to local traffic only. We've had deliveries refused because they don't think they can get in. They probably think they can get in now. But initially, I don't think the signage was appropriate. And then one final thing I wanted to say is just with this road, with this closure, we're incurring negative impacts to our property values, and we want you all to be aware of that as well. So again, I'll also ask that the consideration of the repairs take place as soon as possible. Again, we don't want to wait 30 months. It's good to hear that the funding is available, and I think that's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening. Debbie Izok, and I'm here tonight, and I have signed in. I am here tonight actually representing Spectrum Charter School, and April is National Autism Awareness Month, and today specifically is Autism Awareness Day. So it is what they call Think Blue, and it's okay to be different. So I just want to give a strong shout out to Spectrum and the amazing work that they are doing at that school. If you are not familiar with them, I encourage you to visit their website. It's spectrumsci.org. And I also want to share with you that on May 4th, they are having their annual Touch a Truck event, which is open and free to the entire community. So there's lots of cool trucks for kids of all ages, big and young, little and old, to be able to get out there to discover and explore the trucks. There's lots of activities for everyone. It is a fundraiser, so we are doing a bike raffle. There will be raffle baskets, bake sale, but this year we've also added in, and this is, I think would be a benefit for everyone. There will be a free electronic recycling opportunity. So if you have any small electronic devices, anything from your cell phones to laptops to hard drives to battery backups, modems, laptops, anything electronic.
Not TVs.
But not TV.
Yeah, you
Put that out there, please.
clarify that one.
But not, I was going
Good
to,
idea.
not TVs. All small electronics will be accepted for a no recycle fee. So I think that's a great benefit
What's the
to
date of that
everybody.
again? The date again?
Again, May 4th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And the location of the event is at the Monroeville No. 4 Fire Hall at 4370 Northern Pike. So we hope to see all of you there. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you, Debbie.
I won't take long. My name's Robert Davis. I moved
Sign in there, Robert.
in Monroeville in 1960. The situation on Cabot Road involves 35 families that are stuck. That back road's terrible, and we got a lot of older people that can't drive real well, and that back road is sort of scary. There's parts where you come up, and there's no guardrail. There's guardrails down. My question is, why isn't that, when we hear indefinitely, why isn't that a source of getting solved? Is there a reason for it not being solved? That's all I'm asking.
Well, no, we're in the process. We have engineers looking at it to come up with a proper plan to
You have
fix
to get a
it.
sample?
I'm sorry?
You have to get a soil sample?
Core sample.
They already did that. They already took core samples already.
I'm already hearing.
They already took the core samples already, and now they are analyzing it, and they're coming up with a plan for the road.
Oh, we will have a plan though?
Yes, yes, sir.
We would certainly appreciate it because it's really important, because there is 35 families in that. So I thank you for your time, and I look forward to seeing the crew down there.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you.
Hi. I'm Kathy Bodner. I live at 103 Asbury. And my concern, in addition to, sure, it's an inconvenience, but is the safety. And I'm going to tell you something right now. It's from where we live on Asbury, where we have 22 houses. It's 0.4 mile, 0.4 down the hill. Today, I tracked it. It's 2.3 miles to go from that light down through Alpine Village up to Asbury. Now, my concern is we have a lot of elderly people on that road right now. I can put myself in that position too, but let's say we need a policeman, we need a fire truck, we need an ambulance. Last year, or 2 years ago, my father fell on Christmas Day. We had an ambulance there within, honest goodness, it was 8 minutes. My concern is getting safety vehicles up there. You cannot even pass a fire truck coming up Cabot. Try it. Have a fire truck come up, do a run. I'd like the fire trucks to see how long it takes to get up there and to at least have a run to see what they're encountering. If a car were coming down, someone's going to have to back up. Who's it going to be? Fire or the ambulance or the fire truck? No, it's going to have to be the vehicle coming down from Cabot. There's not even anywhere to pull off to back down. You cannot get two vehicles. Well, if you have two SUVs, it's tight. I can pass somebody coming the other way and we're looking at each other's faces. That's how tight that road is. I'd like all of you to go out tomorrow when you have time, get in your car and actually drive that route down Cabot up to Asbury. The other thing that I had asked about was I don't like the fact that we cannot get a police car up there in particular. I asked if we could have a sign down at the bottom of Cabot. Emergency vehicles only. The police sit and watch that light at Eye Care Medical Center. They said at Enterprise. I had to call the police. Well, my alarm went off at 4 in the morning. Am I going to wait for, if there's a policeman right there, do I have to wait for him to travel 2.5 miles down a windy road or come up 0.4 of a mile to my home? That's a matter of life and death sometimes. We've got elderly people up there that need maybe resuscitated or some type of concern. So, saying that we have the core samples, I get it. You have to wait for this. You have them back next week, Mr. Yugas. That's the end of next week. Then I would assume you get together with your group. You have a plan as to what you want to do. And that should take another week, 10 days. And then that means at that point, you can start on your work. I would think that by the end of April, beginning of May, we should have a plan where you have people up there looking at that site again. What do you think?
Ma'am, I'm not going to apply dates to things.
Of
It's
course
very
not.
hypothetical.
I know you're not. But my concern is if anything were to happen, school buses are, coming up that road. Again, you try to get a school bus one way and a car the other way, it's very dangerous. Please, all of you, take the drive. Well, I know Mr. Little probably knows where it is because you're kind of close.
Sure.
Yeah. So that is my concern, safety. If anything happens in the time frame while you're trying to determine what your core samples say and what your engineers are determining, that could be a life or death situation up on our street. Seriously. So thank you for listening, and I really do. In fact, who can we continue to keep in touch with? I am assuming that I should just call my councilman, Jim has been wonderful. Jim Johns has been getting back to me, returning phone calls. But who else can I?
Mr. Little?
You can call me.
I'll call you. Okay.
Sure.
We understand your concerns, and we're moving as fast as we can.
Okay.
And our public safety, they understand the situation as well. Number 4 Fire Hall would be responding to that area. That's correct. Both.
I want them to come up there with a fire truck and just see how much.
They are well aware of it.
Are they?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And I welcome you. I live the second house on the left. Stop in and visit me. Say hello a bit. Just check it out. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Enrico Corrieri. Also, I live at 428 Scarlet View.
Did you just write your name down for me?
Oh, yes, it's already signed there.
Thank you.
And I'm Marianne's husband. So, with different names. But it's one small detail, and so on the entrance from Alpine Village to Cabot Road is a sign that says the road close ahead. And the sign blocks half the road with the 4 cones. It's not safe because right now, this morning, as I was coming back from Alpine Village to go in there, the car was coming down. He was coming down the right side, and me, I was gotta wait and try to squeeze in. Other people say, yeah, but we saw the sign, you say, the road is closed. They don't know that you got to go around to the sign and then start to go to the right there. Something has got to be done, put in a sign that correctly say, do not block the road, period, but also say, maybe on the side, say, road close ahead at, let's just say, at Asbury Court, closed.
Or road closed to accept local traffic.
Something like
Yeah.
that, or even so, like maybe a sign that say road closed at Asbury Court, because right now it's from Asbury Court down is closed. So, but still you can go to Asbury Court.
I think we can address that very easily.
Yeah, but you
Yeah,
don't
we
want to
can
say Asbury Court close, because then I'm afraid you won't get your deliveries like you had spoke about.
Yeah,
So
well-
maybe if you say accept local, road closed, accept local traffic, that would
Yeah,
allow
but
people
I'm
to come
talking
in.
about like
If-
right now, the sign blocks.
I understand,
half the
I
road.
understand what you're saying. I'm just trying to
That
address.
needs to be moved over and possibly road closed to through traffic.
That's
Yes,
right.
yes,
yeah.
something like that, so you make sure you get your
So this way we
deliveries.
still have the
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's a very easy fix.
open.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't.
That
I
sounds
didn't-
We
like
can
an
look,
easy
we can
fix.
look at that. We got a Public Works take a look at it in the engineering department. We can probably get that
Yes,
changed.
right now we hear
pretty
that
quickly.
everybody has something to say, of course, but,
Yeah.
and one of the things, on top of as you start from Asbury Court, you start down, is that dirty road that goes up to the tower.
It's a driveway.
Yeah, and right there is the sewer, the water, things over there. Every time the water drips from that road, doesn't go inside there, comes in straight down the road. Sometimes we have almost a flood of water, but doesn't go inside over there. So if somebody, when rains, and especially I think on Friday will be rain, if it's a thunderstorm, quite few rain, you see the water come up from the dirty road and go down the Cabot, but do not go inside the water trap that is there. So I don't know who put it there on that corner, right on top there.
Not me.
The water, well, no,
Wasn't me.
when the road was first made it,
Yeah.
was up there. The water doesn't go in there. It doesn't make sense to have the thing there in the first place, unless like you lower a little bit, so or rearrange a little bit the entrance so the way the water start to go over there, it doesn't go down the road and deteriorate as it keep on going down, because the water right now seems like go right in the middle of the road on the way down, and when it's a lot of snow, rain, salt, deteriorated the road quite a bit and soaks right in it, and that could create a problem that we have now.
We can have that looked at as well.
You know, just a few ideas. But
Great.
anyway,
We
thank you
appreciate
very
it.
much for listening. I hope I didn't whack too much.
No, you're fine.
No,
Thank you
no.
very much.
Thank you.
Maybe a paper strip.
We can have Public Works look at this.
Is that Haberstrom's drive? That road he's talking about? The old Haberstrom's, yeah.
My name is Valerie Warning. I am a Monroeville resident.
Nice shirt.
Autism, yes. I'm here on a different matter. It's good and bad, let's put it that way. You can see it there. I was sitting in one of the classrooms when the kids were eating lunch, and one of the students went into the garbage can and picked out food to eat. I didn't think anything of it. Went and talked to the principal of the school, and it is becoming more and more necessary in the Gateway School District that we are having more and more students that are being identified as free and reduced lunches. I'm working with Jen Hoffner, who is the principal over at University Park, along with the guidance counselor and a social worker, putting together a backpack program that we are starting as a pilot program at University Park. We talked about it, didn't know how to do it. We had it before, but we had gone through our food service, but this time we thought, let's just do it on our own. Letters have been mailed out to many community businesses, which has been overwhelming. Jen Hoffner, the principal, can't even get into her office. There has been so many people that have replied to it, whether monetary, just food donations. And
As of right now, they had sent out 134 letters to students at University Park that have been identified on free and reduced lunches, and 57 students have replied that they need a backpack for the weekend. A little girl came in this Monday with a plastic bag, and she says, I don't even want a backpack, I just need food. And, I mean, you sit here and you think, just yourself, I can't even imagine, and I mean, especially, you know, in our today's society, but there are so many. Gateway now has over 50% of their students on free and reduced lunches, which is about 1,700 students. What we're doing is I have boxes, donation boxes, that we're going to be distributing to businesses looking for donations. A website has been made up. If you go on to gatewayk12.org, go to resources, and go down, you'll see the Gateway Backpack Program. We see our little gator, and it'll show you what we're looking for. Everything is non-perishable. And we're hoping, well, I can see how it's taking off just at University Park. We're hoping to do it district-wide, but we're just taking small baby steps. But I just want to say to all the businesses and everything, thank you very much. You can rest a little bit easier thinking these kids aren't going home on a Friday with no food to look forward to. So I just want to thank you guys, you know, Monroeville, all your businesses and that, for really coming around. So thank you. And also, one other thing. Gateway boys basketball team is planning a basketball game with Sunrise School this coming Monday. Cheerleaders and their basketball team will be hosting at 12:30 at Sunrise School. So if anybody's available, it's just another thing that we're trying to do with our community.
What time is that, Valerie?
The basketball game?
Yeah.
12:30 over at Sunrise.
It's when?
Monday, the 8th. So we're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Valerie.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Good evening, Georgiana Woodhall, Broadway Boulevard. I wanted to follow up from last meeting that I attended. I had handed in the drainage maintenance manual from PennDOT, and Mr. Little stated that you were going to be meeting with PennDOT, discussing, I guess it was the State Highway Act of 1945, and my situation. Did you have that meeting?
Yes, we did. We met with PennDOT, and it was a productive meeting, I would say. But as I told them, right now, it's a legal matter that our solicitor's looking into, and I'm also talking with different people around the state on what other districts of PennDOT are doing to see if this is actually being done statewide. So we're kind of in a holding pattern right now.
Okay. Mr. Duncan, you had stated you wanted to go to that meeting. Were you at that meeting?
I was not.
Okay. Were you invited to the meeting?
I was not.
Okay. I just not sure what direction to go in with this. My property's being destroyed.
I agree with you, Georgianne.
You know, I got an issue in front of my home.
Mm-hmm.
I have I have gas and water lines that are aging in front, right where that sinkhole is. And I have a 93-year-old mother in a wheelchair inside of my home. And I have a gas line, Sunoco gas line, in back of my home. So if something occurs there because somebody's trying to figure out whose responsibility it is, I don't want to even think where we're going to have to go with this.
You're talking about your property on Forbes.
I'm talking about, that's another, no, this is right in front of my home.
Okay.
The property on Forbes, and I'm going to be meeting with, I'm going to talk with Paul, and they're looking for going to look for some information of when the highway occupancy permit was issued for Haymaker Village, because there was that connected, the one that existed connected onto our property and drained onto the property, connected to the inlet directly across. It was the intent with that highway occupancy permit by the developer to put a new inlet in and direct that stormwater onto their property. I don't know that that ever occurred, but I need to find that out as well. Also, I sent my appeal in for the stormwater management appeal, and it was, denied, and I have to file an appeal with the appeal board. Has the appeal board been set up yet?
It'll be finalized Tuesday.
Okay, because when I filed the appeal with the county, you know, I filled out one page. They sent me a date of when the appeal was. They sent me this tips for assessment appeal hearings. I took my attorney and appraiser with me and went there knowing exactly what I needed to do. It was a recorded hearing. I don't have any, do you have a tip form or how do we prepare for this? Do you have something like this? This is tips on the assessment
Not
with the
yet,
county?
Georgianne.
Okay, because I only have, I'm looking at your denial letter. I only have, and according to this, which I just want to make note of, let's see where it's at here.
Well, while you're looking,
I have 15 or 30 days from, I have to April 15th. So are you going to have to file this appeal to the appeal board? Because on here it says if this box is checked, final decision not appealable to the Pollution Control and Flood Reduction Board of Appeals if checked. But then I called Tim because under his name it says note, any persons aggrieved by the decision of the municipal manager may appeal to the Pollution Control and Flood Reduction Program Board of Appeals within 30 days. So I'm not sure who to bring to that hearing, whether it's going to be a recorded hearing like the county, or do I record it? Like, what is the next step? Because honestly, all this water that's coming on and destroying my property, not just Forbes Road, but from this state road, is the impervious surface. I have absolutely no way of controlling that. So, I'm also going to ask that any type fees, that I can't pay those fees. Until a final resolution is made, I don't think that I should have to pay any type of fees. And I'm not sure how, there's no instructions on how to go about this. So I really need to get that information. I'm a little concerned because my conversation when I called Linda and I called Tim and discussed how this has grown much worse than it was when Michael Adams from Public Works came onto my property last summer with Joe Markosic and Mike Adams from PennDOT. I'm not quite sure where to go with this. Mr. Littles had told me that, and Linda, our discussion was to send Mike Adams down to take a look at it. I then received a call from Tim saying that, you know, he was advised by Mr. Ratcher not to send anybody down on the property. That doesn't sound like anybody who's trying to help me out here. And, you know, when the cameras are rolling, and I don't mean to, you know, sound negative, but when the cameras are rolling, you know, each and every person sitting on council has said over and over again how important it is for the safety of your residents and the safety of the public. You know, I've explained the situation to you. It is not a safe situation. And, you know, I need your help on this. So what actually went on at that meeting that I can take out of here?
Well, what went on at the meeting, Georgianne, is nothing more than what you know right now. We informed PennDOT. We believe that that is their responsibility, and not only in front of your home, but all of the roads that are PennDOT roads in the Municipality of Monroeville. It's their responsibility with respect to stormwater. And I'm not going to go into the particulars. It was about an hour-long meeting. Now, we're in the process of investigating it. I'm in the process of investigating it from a legislative perspective, and Mr. Ratcher is investigating it from a legal perspective. And we're not going to do anything until we know which direction to go.
Okay, but why would you tell Mike Adams not to come?
Georgianne. If to address what you're talking about with respect to life, if there is a catastrophe at your house, your mother is in danger, you are in danger, it's a matter of life, we're not going to care whose responsibility it is. That will be taken care of by the first responders, by our Public Works Department, by the police, whatever it takes.
Well, why would you
if there's a
wait?
flood, if somebody needs to be taken out of there or something like that, that will be taken care of.
Why would you not? I mean, according to this drainage and drainage systems, I mean, it's pretty clear that this State Highway Act of 1945, and I'd really like to hear from Mr. Ratcher, it is on the responsibility of the municipality right now. So why would you not? This is the only inlet on Route 130 that goes onto private property. All the other ones on 130 that are deteriorating go away from the private property. This is the only one going on private property. So, you know, it's a complete different from Coffee Street down to the intersection. That's not affecting anybody's private property or damaging or putting anybody in jeopardy. But I just want to know why you were advised to not send Mike Adams down there to take another look at that.
Well, all the documentation you have, as far as I'm concerned, clearly states it's PennDOT's responsibility.
Okay, well, I can't, you know, this is just not acceptable to me, and I would like to know from Mr.
I agree with you.
I would like to know.
I think everybody up on his
Bob,
dais agrees with you.
give me some idea.
I can't, I'm not gonna comment on it now. We're in the process of formulating what our legal response is gonna be to PennDOT. I can tell you this, I don't think it's clear that the municipality is responsible, not at all.
After reading this.
Correct.
And did you read anything else beside this?
I've read quite a bit.
Okay, because I have other information at home that I can't tie up, that I can't.
You probably know this. When PennDOT decides they don't want to do something, they throw it onto the municipalities. They say it's your responsibility. And quite frankly, with the legal opinions PennDOT has given so far, I think they're on very shaky legal ground.
Well, you know, I would be more than willing, you know, to provide information to you. And I can tell you that that letter that I read into the record from PennDOT about work being done by somebody other than PennDOT, I want to tell you that the date that I gave you, that I said it was the late 80s, 88 or 89, was actually, I found the certified mailing that I had sent to the developer, to their attorney, and the individual who did construction work on that plaza. So that was under the direction of PennDOT and the Municipality of Monroeville, that work that was done. And in that letter that they sent to me in March saying like, well, somebody else did the work in the back, so we're not gonna, we think that's what's causing the problem in the front. You know what, all you gotta do is walk down there and see where this water is going to, where these pipes are. Water is not gonna flow up the slope. I mean, it is ridiculous.
I just want to have one other thing, Georgiana. I think your problem is severe. I think Mr. Ratcher and Mr. Little are handling it, but I wanted to make it clear to you, if some giant construction company came in there and cleared up every problem you have, you would still owe MS4 fees.
But, well, I'm not even going to go there with you, but,
well,
and I need to know as far as this, but I'm saying.
The problem that you have, we want to get cleared up.
Well, I would like to get it cleared up because right now, I can't see where I would be paying, I'd be paying you a fee to destroy my property. Because if you're supposed to be doing this according to the State Highway Act of 1945, now you want me to pay you a fee, and I would be paying you a fee to just destroy my property. Because it's the impervious surface, and it's not, the problem is not coming from my property, from my house, from what I have there. It is coming from the State Highway. And Forbes Road is a whole other thing. And in fact, I'm going to ask the two engineers to pull the State Highway plans. I have the blueprints. I would like them to pull them, and because I was shocked to see where all the water from Haymaker Road, probably Ridgeview, all these housing goes under pipes, 2 of which are on my property at least. And I can tell you, I've never seen anybody maintaining them, and all you got to do is take a look at them, and you'll know that they're not maintained. Take a walk down the side of my property, and you'll sink up to your ankles in water. So whatever you can do, Mr. Ratcher, you need, I mean, I may have information you need, I don't know that, but I can't sit on this much longer because it has moved the planters on the side of my house, the sidewalk is sinking, the rocks that are coming out from under the sidewalk where there's sinkhole, the water just hits it. I have to climb down a hill every time it rains hard to take those rocks and bricks and whatever away from the gas line, because the gas line is above the ground there. So, you know, I ask you once again, and I hope you get back to me on it, because I cannot sit on this much longer. Willing to provide whatever you need. Thank you.
Okay. For the benefit of the public, what Georgianne Woodhall is talking about is that the stormwater on the PennDOT roads, the state roads, has historically been taken care of PennDOT. It's their roads. Well, now they're saying, to distill the conversation, they're saying that it is borough's responsibility across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania due to a 1945 law. And in some sections, they're saying it has always been that way, and they're saying now it's our responsibility. For instance, it's our responsibility to have the resources, the manpower, the traffic control, for instance, to cure stormwater problems on Route 22. So as you could see, that, is a big game changer with respect to our Public Works Department. And we're not just Monroeville, but a lot of different boroughs, and we're not even a borough, we're a home rule community. We used to be a borough before 1951. So it's an issue that we're taking up with PennDOT, and right now, as I mentioned, I'm looking into it legislatively with Harrisburg, and Mr. Ratcher's looking into it legally, if indeed Monroeville alone has to take care of the stormwater on state roads. So that's the issue.
I'd also like to comment on that. Some of those storm sewers on Route 22 were 60 foot deep. And PennDOT has already set a precedent. They've maintained those for 40, 50 years, as long as I've lived in Monroeville. Now, why all of a sudden would it be our thing? And
Mrs. Woodhall here,
I wish I wasn't invited to that meeting.
Is caught in the middle of this because we cannot set a precedent with respect to repairing a stormwater on Route 130 near where she lives, because we have to sort this all out before we move ahead. Okay.
You might want to ask Paul how many catch basins are involved that the taxpayers of Monroeville would have to pay if the state abrogated their responsibility. It's a big number.
He asked the question.
655
that are just on state roads.
State roads, correct.
So they just want to dump that onto the municipality and onto our taxpayers.
And the crossings.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, yeah, it's all part of it. The crossings,
and the
everything.
road maintenance and rehab.
pipes and
I mean, come on.
It would cost millions.
Millions.
So we're just making sure that it's being done the right way.
And if I can, Mr. Mayor, just to back up what Tim's doing, I had a meeting with a group of 20 mayors on March 6th, and my mayor was in attendance, and that was one of the issues that I had brought up. So Rich Fitzgerald from his county exec office is doing the same as Mr. Little. Just, we are looking into this, and it's, I agree with the assessment. It is not our responsibility, but again, and I appreciate what Georgianne's going through, but if we take that on, maybe they'll say then they'll dump it all on us.
Well, what's next? What's after that?
That's the fear.
Yeah, exactly. And you all as taxpayers would be on the hook for it.
Yeah.
Well, us too. I mean, we're taxpayers, but and you're talking more millions than we know how to count.
Yes, we don't want to go down that road. Sir.
Hi, Joe Forno, another Asbury Court, 100 Asbury Court.
Sign in.
I did.
Thank you, sir.
As we're using the road down there, when you come up from Alpine Village Drive, right where that meets with Cabot Road, the sign, the road closed sign is right there on the, that would be the right side of the road. It blocks the right lane. Nobody stops. I mean, you have two ways, two cars, and one lane. And tonight when we were coming down, like when I come down, I know you better look because you never know. Well, guys zip right around there. I think maybe you need a stop sign down there.
Well, we'll assess what we can do there. I'm sure we can improve.
Either you need to move the sign over somehow.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it and see how we can make it better.
Just put a stop sign right before the intersection. That car will stop. You know, he'll go when.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the sight line's down there, if we could put a stop sign, but we'll definitely look at it tomorrow.
Okay, that's one thing. And as you're going up that road, some of the guardrails, I don't know what happened to them. Somebody told me a tree fell on one of them, but it has a dip in it, and it's about, what's that, 1.5 feet off the ground. Be pretty easy for a car to get pushed over there. People were talking about big things going up there. There's parts of the road where the trees are right on the edge of the road. It's not, you don't have any place to go. they're right there. And that, where the guardrails are, it just goes down. And anybody would go over there, you would have a long way to go. Really, a stop sign, something I wanted to talk about. Kathy was talking about emergency vehicles coming up from 22. I mean, I don't know what you could do about that. If you think they could go up that way, maybe they can't, maybe they can. If they could, I mean, could those barriers be moved over a little bit? You're probably worried about people going up and down there. If they do, give them a ticket. I mean, I heard that people have gone that way, and I also heard there's cameras down there. You know, if you would move them and you would open it to emergency vehicles only, people choose to go up and down, ticket them. If it's worth, you know, $200 a trip, ticket them. Just something that Kathy brought up back there.
Yeah, once again, I mean, number 4, fire and EMS, they're well aware of the situation. Mr. Little can follow up with the police chief tomorrow and just make sure that we have a plan in the event there is an issue up there.
Okay, just things that came up. That's really all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Ellen Zerba. I live at 120 Asbury Court. And my husband and I moved into the area last August. When we moved into the area late last summer, the road was already a problem on Cabot Road. So this is not anything new, I'm sure, that this town knows about. We noticed the dip in the road when we first came to the area. It just progressively got worse, and from my understanding, talking to other residents, this is not the first time that this has happened. So I would like to know, really, what seriously is the town going to do about this? Because it's nice to say that we have, you know, these barriers up, or we need to put other signs up for detours. That's like a Band-Aid approach. What is the town going to do to fix the problem? We moved into the area to be convenient to Route 22 so that we could have the easy access. That's been taken away. I'm concerned about my property value since moving into the area. The long-term effect if I try to resell my house, if we do relocate again. Who is going to want to come and look at a house when part of the road, the main access leading up there, is now closed? So who's going to cover that for the property loss that I have? If the road isn't fixed in a reasonable time frame, from what I understand, it took 30 months, which is totally unacceptable to fix a road. Totally unacceptable. So I would like to know if there is not some sort of game plan for this, instead of Band-Aid approaches with putting up detour signs and telling people to take a back way around, what are they going to do about property tax relief? You've got a lot of houses up there. You've got a lot of people up there who are being affected by this. It's going to start hitting us in the wallet if it comes down to having to resell our homes. And I want to know what is seriously going to be done about this, instead of saying we're waiting on soil samples, or we're going to move this barricade, or we're going to give someone a ticket if they drive up the road because it's closed. I want answers as far as what is going to happen, the priority on this. That Cabot Road is dangerous driving. I drive my son to and from school every day. I had a school bus come at me head on last week. There is nowhere to move on that road. When you have a big vehicle coming at you, you're going to end up losing it when you're driving a car. The school bus came right at me head on. I had nowhere to move. These people are not exaggerating when they're saying there are literally trees right there on the side of the road. If you try to move over, you're going to hit a tree. It is not safe. It is an inconvenience. We've had packages returned. We've had delivery places saying they're not going to come out and deliver to our house. They can't find it. The road is closed. We received a letter in the mail from Amazon basically saying your packages were returned. UPS called us and told us they weren't going to come out to our house because the road was closed. You have these signs down there at the bottom at Route 22. It just says road closed. It doesn't say take a detour through Alpine Village Drive. Nothing about that. You get to that other point in the road that everyone else is talking about where the sign is sitting right there in the lane. Nothing that says access to Asbury Court. There's nothing that says local traffic only. It just says road closed ahead. I mean, it's nice to have these Band-Aid fixes saying that you're going to fix this sign or move a sign over so people can get in. You've had this problem with the road before, with my understanding. Taking your soil samples is nice. You think you probably would have done that last time that you had a problem with the road. So it needs to be taken seriously. And I ask every single one of you, take a drive through there. See what it's like to drive that windy road. See what it's like, what some other people said. You get down by the speedway in the morning or at the end of the day and you're trying to turn to get into traffic. It's nearly impossible.
We certainly understand your concerns. I certainly have driven that road both ways. I've driven Cabot. I'm sure probably most of us up here have and are familiar with the roadway. As far as signage, we're going to look at as far as changing the signage tomorrow to make the language better on it. But we can't speed up the process any more than that. It snowed on Sunday. Even if we had a plan right now, we couldn't do construction on a road right now anyway.
You knew last fall. You knew last summer. Come on. I moved in here in August, and I knew that there was that dip in the road. So don't tell me that you didn't know.
There are dips in many roads.
Right.
How many miles of road do we have in the municipality?
You knew that dip in the road was there. If you had the same problem 2 or 3 or 2 other times, what people have said, you knew it was a problem. You knew. I knew last year when I moved in, but all you guys did was seal coat the road in the fall, which I was like, this is just ridiculous. Then you stick up a sign there in the winter, just marking the fact that it's a dip. That doesn't do anything. You need real answers, and saying you're going to check the signage or you're going to move a sign is not the answer that we need.
It's the short-term answer for now. Till the soil samples are back, we can't set a plan. We can't fix the road until the soil samples come back.
Soil samples you think would have been done prior to this because you knew the road was a problem.
That's not the only road that's a problem in the municipality. We are
I
approaching them.
understand that.
It's
Man, I've
obviously
been here all my life.
prioritized.
I didn't know that was a problem.
Yeah.
All my life. I've driven fire trucks up and down that road. I've driven police vehicles up and down that road. I didn't know it was a problem. Nobody has ever informed me.
So you didn't know even previously that there was at least 1 or 2 times I'm hearing now tonight that road was a problem.
Fire trucks, and I've gone up there and gone to Asbury Court. I'm telling you that I didn't know there was a problem there. Please don't accuse me of that. I didn't know.
Well, I'm going to say, I'm not going to accuse just you. I'm going to say all of you.
Well, I didn't
all
know.
of you.
You can't accuse me.
Well,
and I'm the same way, ma'am, is Ron. You know, take the fire apparatus up there as well as the EMS vehicle as well. And part of the closure previously, and correct me if I'm wrong, was not just what you've seen since you've been here, but the total movement of that hill, rated back, as well as what was done. So when you say, oh, geez, you previously said, if I'm not mistaken, 30 months was unacceptable. There was a heck of a lot of work that happened before that.
I understand that.
Okay.
I understand that the neighbors have told me that.
So in conclusion, okay, take 30 months off the table right now as being unacceptable. Sorry, but that was a revision for those of us who have been here all our lives.
Right, I understand that.
Okay, to do that. No, we were never informed that there was a problem with it. Yes, the road subsided. Yes, there's plans to get it in line to be fixed in place. Is this level of problem? No, ma'am, we didn't.
And now that we have at this point, we have to have an engineering.
Right,
design.
I get that.
And nobody wants it fixed more than us, believe me. When
Is
you
it
say
going
that,
to be fixed this year? Is it going to be fixed during this construction season?
you have to see what the plan is and what's the status of what's underneath there. I mean, it's very reasonable. It's a high priority. It certainly is.
Yeah, it's certainly moved up.
We drive that all the time.
I live off of.
Well, if you drive it all the time, you would have seen the problem.
Well,
with
listen,
it.
I live off Old Ramsey.
That's right.
That road has had part of the road closed for a year and a half now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you have to go around just like you talked about, and if you're not watching somebody speeding down there, and it has to wait. There's other things that come in, happen, and take priorities. It will eventually get done. We aren't made of money. We do the best with the money we have. So maybe that road is now moved up a
Certainly
notch
has.
due
Absolutely.
to the collapsing. So once again, where I maybe thought Ramsey was going to get done, and I'm just going to say that I'm just saying that, I don't know for sure, we now maybe are going to be doing Cabot instead.
Sure.
It's all based on what the information we get back to determine. So please don't say that we're not doing
Can the
or
residents
concerned.
can the residents get a commitment that this road is going to be fixed and reopen this construction season?
I don't think you can until he
Have a
said
plan.
until we have a plan in place. We can't do that until we get the information back.
How long does
First
the
of all,
plan-
ma'am, you can't rush this.
How
This has to be
How long
thought
does-
out properly, and the engineers have to come in and explain how we do it, and then we have to come up with the funding in order to do it, which is probably gonna cost us at least $500,000.
So how long are you saying that is going to take?
I'm sorry?
How long are you saying that part is going to take?
I think.
Well, that's the problem. We're still working on the engineering part of it, the soil samplers. There's no final.
That's not our department. That's not our.
There's no final way to do it until we get all the information together, and once that's compiled and brought together, then we can maybe give you a timeline. Now, something you probably aren't aware of, but in 2018, we had 57 inches of rain over our normal rainfall.
Right, I understand that.
We average 3 inches a month. So that's approximately an extra 20 months of rain. So, I mean, it isn't something that was anybody's fault. It's just a problem that occurred because of erosion. Now, I sympathize with the traffic and everything else that all of you are experiencing, but if we don't do it right this time, then we're just going to turn around and do it over again, and you're going to have the same issue.
I agree.
So
give us
let
the time
us
we need.
Come up with a plan, and as soon as they come up with a plan, our engineers come up with a plan, not council, because we wouldn't know how to do it anyway.
When are the soil samples expected back?
I'm sorry?
When are the soil samples expected
Well,
back?
it's not just
I'm
the soil.
sorry, I don't know that.
Well, it's not just the soil samples. We actually have the engineering firm, our outside consultant, working up a plan for us.
When is that going to be anticipated to be finished? Any idea?
No, I don't know.
Didn't he answer that earlier in the meeting?
Hopefully within the next week or 2 weeks, but we are waiting to hear from them.
So how will the residents be advised?
If we have any updates, we'll give them a Tuesday. If not, then we'll let you know we don't have any
council meeting in a
updates.
week from now, and we can always put things on the website.
I was just gonna say that.
Okay.
So I think to better explain it, when they say soil samples, it's a core bore, correct?
Yes.
So what they do is drill down.
Right, I saw
and
them when they were
take up,
doing
say
that.
there's clay,
Mhm.
say there's, shell, whatever. You get those samples, and that'll give our engineering department a better idea of how to approach it. Whether you have to come in and remove all that clay so we don't have that slide again, backfill it with stone. That's I think is what they're waiting for. I don't mean to put any words in anybody's mouth, but I'm familiar with those kind of projects, and I do know that it does take a little time to get all that figured out, where the moisture is coming from,
And if it's done,
And the last time, the state was involved, and that
right,
may
I
have
understand.
why
I
it took
understand
30
that.
months.
Yes, I understand that.
You understand what I'm
Yes,
saying? That big
the
wall
other
was put in and everything.
Yes, I know that. I've been filled in
I
on
was
that part.
informed or misinformed that I thought I heard the wall had a bulge. I went by there today and I was looking at it. And
I
that's
haven't seen
dry.
that.
There's no bulge, so that's a good sign. So obviously somehow there's flow underneath of that road washing the material out. So whether it comes up to a French drain issue and
Too, I'm sure.
So let's say everything comes back. Let's say engineering does what they have to do. Is there money in the budget to fix the road this year? Let's say everything comes back.
I think we've already
How would
stated
we
that
know?
there is.
How would we know 100% unless
we're
we know
committed to that.
what we're going to
committed
have to
to
do?
We want
until
we want the road
money,
open
but
for all
yes.
the reasons that you're presenting, for all the
Yes.
reasons that the other residents are presenting, certainly. But we have to do it right. But we can't commit to when it's going to be done, how much it'll cost, we just don't know until we hear. There could be we could get a devastating report back from the engineering department. Hopefully we don't.
I hope you don't either.
But it's the truth.
Well, we all hope.
We don't know. But it's certainly a commitment. We definitely want to get the road open, and we're going to do what we can to do that. But at this point, we closed the roads down because it was an unsafe situation.
Yeah, it was clearly getting worse. You could see
That is a priority that we had to close the road down. We have already had the engineering department out already. I think that's pretty quick response. At this point, we're waiting for them to come up with a plan. As Mr. Duncan mentioned, it's not as simple as just repaving the road. There could be extensive construction work that it may have to be done there with very expensive options. Mrs. Gatos mentioned about Old Ramsey. We had to repair some a few years ago, and we had multiple options given to us, very expensive, and these things take a lot of time. But
Like
we are
I
certainly
say,
committed
part of
to
it's
it.
still shut down. Still to this day, it's shut
Or it
down.
could
Because
just
it
be a
fell.
minor matter of drainage.
So-
We divert that water away from that weak
Exactly.
spot, and bada bing.
Well, I
fill it in
agree.
and go.
Something obviously needs to be dug up. I mean, it's
So
obvious. It's obvious
But
something
it's not
has
like
to
we're
happen
not
there.
working on it. I
It
mean,
could
we're
be-
actively pursuing it.
Rather quick, or
Could be very lengthy.
Or-
So why don't we just take it step by step, because we want it done right as much as you guys want it done right.
Yeah, because you have a lot of unhappy people up there. You have,
Well-
I mean, you have a lot, and if it doesn't get fixed, I mean, I think you're going to have a lot of people looking for some sort of property tax relief. This is
Well,
affecting our values on our properties.
Well, there's a lot
Well,
of
I can't
situations
say-
that happen.
I think we all agree that it's our number one priority here.
Well, it's a priority,
In order
yes.
to get it
I
complete
don't know about property
and fixed
values.
properly.
Let's hope so.
Thank you.
I have one more thing to say, please.
Wait till you get
Wait
up
till you
there
get to the
to
microphone,
talk.
please.
No, just wait till
No,
you
just
come
wait
up all
till
the
you
way
get there
before you
speak
talk.
so we can all hear you.
There you go.
Thank you. Hey, you know what? I think a lot of us would feel a lot better if Mr. Yugas, since he's the engineer that I think is assigned to this, and you're the one he turns to, you're all the ones saying what's going on. If you would give us, I'm sure you have emails that you could send us all a weekly update or something so that we know what's going on. I like the way Mr. Duncan just explained to us what a core sample is. I never know didn't even know what it's involved. If you could give us a weekly update, the residents, if we give you our email.
Well, that's something we could actually talk to. Mr. Johns isn't here right now. He's the councilman for that ward.
Yeah,
I think it's
I've
probably
talked to
best
him.
to run through Mr. Johns. So whenever he gets back, we can speak to
Yeah,
him.
and I think you'd have happier people if we knew what was going on, you know. So thank you for that. That's it.
You know what? I just want to make one comment, since I've been in the borough since 1960. When we moved in and built our house in 1960, the road was bad. And it was closed for 3 months, 36 months. We had to use that back road. And you guys did a wonderful job. You got the wall built and put the new road in. And we thank you. We had a celebration the day they opened up the road. So that's what the concern is. And I know it's a high priority, but here again, I've been around a long time. We have a wonderful police force, a wonderful fire department, which they came to my house about 2 weeks ago, and wonderful officials. And I just want to pass that on, put it as a high priority, and we'd certainly appreciate it. And I won't tie up any more of your time.
Thank you.
For your service. I'm a
Thank you.
vet too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we certainly know, we understand the concerns, we understand the frustration, absolutely. We're acting on it the best we can and the quickest we can. We certainly want to do it right. I'm going to leave the floor open, but I think we could move on to maybe a different subject matter. We certainly understand the concern. But if there's anyone else that would like to speak about another municipal matter, I'll leave the floor open before we get into our regular meeting. So if you just sign in and state your name.
My name's Bob Williams. Appreciate you letting me speak for a moment. And I'm really bugged by dumpers. And it's not our Monroeville people. It's people out of the community that's come on our roads and throws tires and TVs and whatever they don't want in their community, they throw in our community. Every automobile tire has a serial number. They're traceable. You know, when you buy tires, they write down the serial numbers, so we could find out who the owners were of them. The state doesn't permit us, or refuse people, to pick up electronics, TVs and other electronics. So they're dumped along our roads, along with other debris that people don't want in their yards. So I would make a proposal, the council look into allowing our volunteer firemen to patrol and apply fines, and then split them fines with the municipality to support our volunteer firemen. They already patrol the fire lanes. Do they, when they patrol fire lanes, do they present fines to those parked in them?
The volunteer fire department doesn't do fire lanes anymore.
Oh, they don't do fire lanes anymore? Well,
The code enforcement does mainly, in the police department.
well, maybe you look into it and see if we can have an ordinance to allow them to do that and patrol these dumpers, and then maybe split the fines with them. That would produce money for the volunteer firemen and some relief to the taxpayers. That's really all that's on my mind tonight, but I appreciate you looking into that and seeing if something can be done.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Williams.
Thank you.
Anyone like to address council
Thank you.
for any municipal item? We're going to close that portion of the meeting, and we're going to move over to our agenda-setting meeting.
Can we take a moment, Mayor?
Thanks, everybody, for coming.
Wants to leave.
We're going to take a 5-minute recess.
There we go.
We'll be back in 5 minutes.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Well, Sharon, but.
Yeah, well, Sharon's good. We have. I'm just gonna pause.
All right, council, we are out of recess, and we're going to move over to our agenda-setting meeting. We're going to go over our proposed agenda. We have an executive session announcement that council conducted an executive session for personnel and litigation reasons prior to tonight's Citizens Night, beginning at 6:30 p.m. until 7 p.m. Council legislative action, if any, shall be taken at the April 9th council meeting. Council, we have minutes in front of you in your packet of Citizens Night meeting of March 7th, 2019, the council work session of March 7th, 2019, and the regular council meeting of March 12th, 2019. Any questions or comments, council?
No, sir.
Very good. Council tax collections, any comments or questions this evening?
No, sir.
Seeing none, good. List of bills and budget transfers. Mr. Wilson, anything for this evening? Any questions?
Thank you.
Mr. Duncan?
I have nothing.
Mr. Arcinko?
Nothing, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Harvey?
Nothing.
Mr. Poach?
No, sir.
Mrs. Gatos?
Nothing, sir.
Very good. Payroll, council, any comments or questions?
No, sir.
Very good. We're going to move over to our bids and proposals. Council, you can turn back to your white portion of the packet for our 2019 commodity bids. Mr. Little, please.
Okay, as we do annually, this time of the year, we have commodity bids for the Public Works Department mostly, and council has the bids we received. We opened up the bids this morning and reviewed them over, and in the shaded areas are the low bids for each of the particular items. Now, we have received on some of these no bid. For instance, on the baseball infield mix, we did not receive any bid. So if council wants to rebid that, that's up to them if they want to rebid it. Or we could possibly go with the same rudders that we did, I believe, last year on the baseball. Excuse me, not rudders, where we did last year. That's up to council. Council can make that decision if they want to discuss that this evening. They can discuss that this evening. Also, we did not receive, and we did not last year either, small paving in place. There is one aspect that I do want to bring up. There's a letter attached to this and also an email. And this has to do with the sign blanks and roll material for our signs. And this is concerning Osborne Company in Logan, Ohio. Mike Adams, our public works superintendent, approached me about a month ago, and they did not adhere. There's a March 10th email that I was telling Dara, my secretary, to place this in the file so we can discuss this, and maybe Mr. Ratcher, you can chime in on this, is that they did not adhere to the commodity bids that they bid on last year. And you could read their letter, and I'll read it out loud here. It says, due to the extreme market instability and pending U.S. government sanction announcements, we can no longer fulfill the above-mentioned contract for aluminum sign blanks. Even if we were to request a price escalation, it still would not cover the true cost of the aluminum in today's market. It's very unfortunate to all involved, and we hope you understand our position. We welcome the opportunity to offer current pricing on these items. So they did not adhere to their contract last year, just since this came in about a month ago. Now, whether or not council wants to award what they have on the low bids that they have, council, you can still do that, because what they're saying is the price escalation was so extreme that they could not fulfill the contract.
Were they were under contract, Mr. Little?
Yes, they were.
So they owe us?
Well, they don't owe us, but what they're saying is that they could not adhere to it with respect to the price that they gave last year.
So wait a minute, so they bid and they couldn't fulfill their bid?
Yeah, and now what I don't know right now, and Mike Adams would have to tell me, is if we did purchase anything from them. And I'll have to talk to Mike about that. I don't see any problem with you still going with Osborne. They are the low bid on most of the items here. And I don't see a problem either going with Vulcan Signs because there was only 2 bids on it.
But
I
they're
wouldn't want to
not,
go with the company that didn't.
yeah, they're not fulfilling their contract.
Yeah.
Well, that was for last year, so I mean, it's.
Why would you reward them?
Yeah, well, okay, that's.
I
That's
wouldn't
my
want to award them a
That's-
bid this year.
Okay,
Nope.
that's why I am
I agree.
bringing this to your attention.
Nope, I would
What's
not
the-
go with them.
But as far as the pricing, how drastic is it from?
Well, if you look, I mean,
Less than 300.
in an aggregate, it's very small, it's only a couple $100. With respect to $22,742 in the aggregate for 31 items is for Vulcan Signs, and then $22,977.03. Now, that's the aggregate, and obviously Osborne is higher, but if you can see from the shaded areas that they are low on most of the items.
But the overall cost is still $200 cheaper if
That,
we
but we
took
bid,
everything.
yeah, that's true, but we bid it
On
on
a separate
the individual.
issue.
We don't bid it in the aggregate.
Gotcha.
So if Mike, because it's not a pain for Mike.
Yeah.
It's not a problem for Mike to say, hey, I need 9-inch by 12-inch aluminum blanks, so he calls the one company and they deliver it. So it's bid on the individual items. So council, you can do what you want on this. It is up to you.
I wouldn't want to give them another bid.
Okay?
That's just me.
Okay.
No, I agree with you on that, Ron.
Okay, everything else, we did receive 1 bid, and under the purchasing laws, you can award that or you can rebid it, and that would be, let's see. One of these, we received 1 bid on one.
Is this the one where we only got 1 bid on?
Yeah,
paving?
rudder. Okay, that's the one on wood safety surfacing material
Where's that at?
for the parks. When you receive 1 bid, you can either throw it out and rebid that section, or you can award that.
Is that Rudder?
That's rudder, that is correct.
He's local, he's right here.
Yeah.
Not only is that a Monroeville business, but does the department that get it, they think that's a fair bid?
Yeah, in the past, we have.
We've used
awarded-
Rudder
Yeah.
for the past several
Yeah,
years.
we have awarded.
Well, then I don't have a problem.
I'm
Yeah,
good, and then
I
I'm good
would-
with it.
I would think that would be the correct word.
Yes. What about the paving bids, Tim? Where we only got the 1 bid from Trevor?
Well, we have, Mike, we have not, that is not real critical, because we did not get that last year either.
Oh,
So it's not real critical unless Mike has something that is real in need, and I can talk to Mike before next Tuesday to inform you on that.
okay.
Okay?
Okay.
As far as the infield mix for the ball fields,
Yeah.
where we did not get a
We did not get a
bid.
bid on that, correct?
Does the community park
These are the bids here.
purchase that? Does that come out of their budget? The
Yes.
Parks and Rec.
Neither one of these companies.
No, that
did
comes
any
out of the
bids.
community park section of the public works.
So it's not like they didn't bid anything, they didn't bid anything.
But does the purchasing of it go through
That, and they didn't even bid that.
the community parks budget?
He may not, Johnny wouldn't know that. No, it goes through the public works, not the park and
At
rec.
least my husband quit.
I'm just curious who they've purchased it from in the past. Maybe we'd find out for
Field
Tuesday.
mix, yeah. I can't,
I thought Rudder used to have it.
yeah, I thought, that's what I was
thought
thinking.
Rutter's had
too.
it
I
in the
thought,
past,
that's what I
but
said
yeah.
before. I thought Rudder had it.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Not infill mix, I don't believe.
Are you saying no?
Yeah, infield mix is the,
Who was it?
that.
We used to get it out in,
No, I know what it is.
Yeah,
No.
well, I don't-
up by Newcastle, we used to get it from.
Yeah.
S&S or something like
He's
that.
Did we send a truck out there to get it?
They used to bring it.
They would deliver it.
They deliver.
Well, Mr. Little, if you could check into where we've
Sure.
gone in the past, and then we can maybe contact that company or see if there's other companies.
Thank you, member of the audience.
No problem at all. I will take care of that.
No, that's Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Council, any other questions about the bids and the commodities bids? Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Gatus and gentlemen, any other questions about the commodity bids?
No, sir.
No.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving over to our new business, we have 19-1-SUB, Jonathan and Natalie Hizzy. Mr. Little.
Okay, applicant is requesting a preliminary and final subdivision approval of tax parcel 544S364. Applicant proposes to reduce the size of lot 544S364 from .803 acres to .676 acres and increase the size of lot 544S355 from .303 acres to .430. The address of lot 1R is 818 Patton Street Extension in the R2 one-family residential zoning district. Planning Commission has recommended approval with conditions.
Welcome.
Hello.
Sir, if you could just, Joe, can you get the camera on? If you could just briefly explain what you want to do there, John.
Basically, I want to subdivide the back of my yard, and I got to maintain a 40-foot back through the zoning board. They says I got to keep 40 foot. So basically what I'm doing is selling the rest of the property to my neighbor so he can put in a driveway.
Oh,
That's
okay.
simple as that.
Yeah, it's a simple subdivision.
And there were some conditions, Mr. Wielden?
Yeah, very minor comments from the reviewing engineer. Won't be any problems getting them addressed.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions, council?
Seems easy.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Consider this on Tuesday. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Johnny.
Thanks, Johnny.
Item number 2, Mr. Little.
Okay, AWK Consulting Engineering Incorporated applicant is requesting preliminary and final subdivision approval of tax parcel 742D354. Applicant proposes to create 2 lots from lot number 1 into lot number 1R and lot number 2R. The address of lot 2R is 3962 Logan's Ferry Road in the R2 one-family residential zoning district. Planning Commission has recommended approval with conditions.
Mr. Wilden, if you could briefly describe the project, please.
Very simple, similar to the previous subdivision. This was a large lot. There's a house being constructed back here. The person that owns this lot wanted to subdivide this portion out to sell to someone. So again, it's just a very simple 2-lot subdivision.
Any problems from your department?
None at all.
Okay. Council, any questions?
Nope. Sir.
No, sir. Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
Moving over to our resolutions, council. We have 3 this evening. Mr. Little.
Okay, the first one is a resolution adopting the Fox Plan Apartments Sewage Planning Module. And this is from, obviously, the apartments that are going up over there. Any questions from council on that?
Any issues, Paul, on your end, or either Paul?
They're going through the process. It looks like they have everything addressed. Health Department, DEP, Alcosan, everybody signed off on it. Just standard resolution.
Well, I think we need to get that on the record, so yeah, I'm good.
And do we have I know it's outside of this, but do we have a proposed construction start date? Or a tentative one?
This is,
You're getting sick.
I'm not I know the Evergreen Apartments are planning on starting the end of this month.
So they want to start Evergreen first?
It appears that way.
Okay.
They were supposed to start mobilizing equipment, so Fox Plan. They were talking last year about doing them simultaneously, but it looks like Evergreen is going to start first.
Okay. Just curious. Thank you. Mr. Little.
Okay, the second resolution is the annual resolution exonerating the real estate tax collector from collection of uncollected taxes for the year 2018. And in the pink section under the resolutions, council can see the highlighted number, which is $177,992, and that's out of a $9 million budgeted. We usually collect about 97% of the taxes. These are the ones that were uncollectible and are delinquent.
Question, Mr. Little.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any way we could put this list on our website? I mean, this is
Want
taxpayer
to,
money.
sure.
And so I think the residents have a right to see who hasn't paid taxes.
Because right now this is a public document, of
Right,
course.
that's why I'm asking if we could maybe do that.
Sure.
Maybe, like we had talked before, maybe that will have some people want to run up here and get it paid so they're not being shown on the website.
Council, any other comments or? problem with
Just
that.
for housekeeping announcement, and I think with Linda's suggestions is good.
Yeah, and certainly this is something that they have had multiple notifications. This isn't something that's this is snuck up on anybody. There's been multiple notifications from the tax office. These are from 2018, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
So these would have been due April 15th or April 17th of 2018.
Correct.
So-
We're like a year. Yes.
And after this, we exonerate the tax collector from pursuing them. Do we turn them over to other services? Or
No, our real estate tax collector, Pat Fulkerson, is the delinquent tax collector.
That is correct.
He still does continue to pursue trying to get the money,
There
but
must be
we have
people
to
that wrote the
legally do
check
a
for
house.
the wrong amount, because there's
Gotcha.
actually 40 cents in delinquency here.
Correct.
You know.
Some of them are probably a little interesting.
Probably
or just
somebody
a
paid the wrong
handwritten
amount.
check wrong or whatever. And those are understandable, but when there's full amounts on there and I'm paying my taxes in full, I think other people that aren't should be shown. So,
Yeah, we can have that placed on the website.
great. Thank you.
All righty.
Item number 3, the third resolution.
Okay, item number 3 is a resolution recognizing the Monroeville Soccer Club as a civic and/or service association under the Local Options Small Games of Chance Act as amended. They have contacted me, and they want to have I believe it is a night at the races in order to raise money. I've spoken to Mr. Ratcher about this, and I've asked them to submit their 501c3 under the Pennsylvania Department of Revenue, and the lady has not found it. But they have to get a license from the county, and they are going to have to show that to the county. So I would think that they would have to show that to us by next Tuesday, if council's in agreement with that, unless.
Well, if they get a license from the county, then they have it.
Then they have it. Okay, so council's inclined to pass the resolution or not, or any discussion on that?
If they bring the license to you.
Yeah, exactly. They bring the license, I'm personally okay.
We can make that a condition.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sure.
all right. Okay, and that's it for resolutions.
Thank you. We have one ordinance this evening. Mr. Ratcher, please.
An ordinance of the Municipality of Monroeville repealing ordinance number 2541 and adopting new comprehensive stormwater management provisions for the Municipality of Monroeville pursuant to the Stormwater Management Act 32 PS Section 680.1. This is the ordinance that's been under review by the engineering department. It's been on the table for several months, and
We're good to go.
you're good to go.
We're good to go.
Is that in here, Paul?
No, the full document is not in there because it's 70 pages long. I mean, I could supply you with a copy of it.
No.
You can email off council.
70 pages
Sure.
No,
for 7.
70.
Wow, Maroon.
Mr. Ratcher, anything else for ordinances?
Nothing for ordinances. I do have one item under my report.
Yeah, we'll just go right into reports, and you can just keep going.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you know, I've been working with you. We've had discussions about how to address dilapidated properties in the municipality. And one of the things that I've done is draft an ordinance for council's consideration. Council's not seen this yet. I just want to get the process started. This is going to be called the vacant and abandoned property ordinance. And it's just going to be one more tool that council can use to deal with abandoned or vacant properties. What it does is creates a registration system whereby this is particularly a problem with properties that people walk away from and they're essentially owned by a mortgage company through foreclosure, something like that. Very often the mortgage companies, especially nowadays, because you get your mortgage on, online, whatever, as opposed to getting it at the local bank. We don't know who the people are that are responsible for maintenance and upkeep of the property. This will compel those people to register with the municipality and give us the power to seek sanctions against them if they don't do that. As I said, it's going to be one more tool in the toolbox to try to deal with dilapidated or abandoned properties. So what I would ask council for tonight is permission to advertise this ordinance. It could certainly be considered not this coming Tuesday, but next month. So that would be my request as of now, and I'll get a copy out to everybody, and Tim, I'll email you a copy as well.
Okay,
Very good.
so
Nice work.
Good.
Good.
Good. Okay.
So that'd be a motion to
Motion
advertise
for next Tuesday, motion to advertise the.
for
okay.
the following month.
Okay, all
Or
right.
for us to consider next month. And Mr. Ratch, you said it best. I mean, it's just another tool for us to go after some blighted properties, to stay ahead of things, to allow our code enforcers and that department to be able to monitor these properties more aggressively. I think we all have properties, we know properties that have been vacant for decades. And this maybe is a way to get some of the properties back on the tax rolls and get some movement there. So
Yeah, and this will help. And this is styled after several other ordinances that other municipalities have already adopted and are having some success with. And again, it's not the answer in every case, but if it helps us with just a small portion of them, it's probably good legislation.
agreed. Anything else for this evening, Mr. Ratcher?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Little.
Okay, 3 items here. Just a reminder that summer employees, college students, Public Works, and also administratively, applications for summer employment is due April the 22nd.
Hey, Tim, a question on that, please.
Mm-hmm.
How is the recruiting coming for that?
We've had, I mean, Joe could probably answer that a little bit better. I mean,
We're coming in a little more now. We're getting a little better, but we're still short. We need some public works.
Okay.
Is what we need.
Well, I have an idea that perhaps we should let the high school know what we're doing and maybe run a little program up there to talk to some of the students to see if they're interested.
For the ones that are graduating, you mean?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, for the
Okay.
seniors.
They have to be 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They gotta be 18.
Yeah, they
Well,
have
there's
to be
probably a way
18.
we can get that to
Yeah.
the school district through Skyward, and they
We
can
can
email.
recruit some.
So we have a school board member here
You can
this
always tell
evening.
the young lady in the back of the
Yes,
room.
we'll
That would be our school board member.
What's the deadline for that?
April 22nd.
April 22nd.
Yeah. So obviously we have a short window here, a small window. So in other words, we need to contact Mr. Short and the principal up there, and schedule one of our folks to be up there to talk a little bit about the program and what there is to offer and who qualifies.
Sure.
Great idea, Tom. Great idea.
Anything else, Mr. Little?
Yeah, second item is the recycling event by ECS&R out of Evans City, Pennsylvania. We have this about 3 times a year. Recycling event will be at the Public Works Department on Star Avenue, April the 6th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. We do have a link on our website, and it's best to register for that event. Item number 3 also has to do with hazardous waste and electronic recycling. If you remember, Council gave me the okay to have an agreement which will not cost the municipality anything, and I completed the agreement with that, which they send, ECS&R sends to the DEP, that they can have hazardous waste and electronic waste recycling at your doorstep. And when you register, there will be eventually a link on our website, and we will be advertising this. And once they get about an average of 40 property owners, they will come out to Monroeville and they will have doorstop for recycling. It's going to cost the property owner money, just like as if you would be going to this Saturday's event where it's weighed. And there will be a price list on the website, just like at the event this Saturday. Okay, so that will help with what Mr. Williams is talking about before. He was talking about the dumping on the side of the roads as far as tires, electronic, and hazardous waste. And that concludes my announcements.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Little. Mr. Hugus, anything this evening?
No, sir.
And we're going to move over to our council members. Mr. Wilson, anything for this evening?
Thank you, Mayor. I have some great news about the Senior Center. On April 17th at noon, 12 o'clock, the menu will be spaghetti and meatballs served with garlic salad, Italian garlic bread, cannoli, and refreshments. There'll be entertainment, the Epics, Get Lost in the 50s. $7 for the members and $8 for guests. There's a ticket deadline April 10th. And if you have any questions, please call the Senior Center because it's going to sell out very fast. Now, I do have a couple more items. At our meeting yesterday at the Senior Center, they were very, very pleased with the presentation by Chief Cole for the active shooter program. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it, but I would have loved to have seen that program too. It's been around the municipality a little bit, and Chief Cole, they were just very pleased with Chief Cole's efforts and the way he ran the program. And I do have a information that back in 319, Mr. Little sent out information about our fund balance, and as requested by council, after accounting for accrued capital expenses this year, the projected fund balance at the end of 2019 will be approximately $10 million. That's not counting for a new garbage trucks, approximately $200,000, a new municipal building roof, not sure what the prices are there, and HVAC units. It does take into account an additional $500,000 for road repairs. What is important to note is the fund balance at the beginning of 2018 was approximately $13.5 million. This equates to spending down $3.5 million over a 2-year period. All the money well spent on capital projects, but nonetheless a significant decrease. And my response to that is, to Mr. Little and the council and mayor, was thanks for the update on the fund balance. I agree that the funds that are being used from the fund balance are being well spent for the municipality. The funds will help repair additional roads, buy a new garbage vehicle, repair a roof, replace HVAC units within the municipality. The fund balance provides funding to council in order to replace, repair, and purchase capital projects without going into additional debt. As you know, past councils have put the municipality into debt of $33 million. That's in millions, in order to replace and repair items for the municipality. This council should be very proud to report that by using the fund balance to support capital projects, this council will not accrue any additional debt. We will continue to pay down the bond issues that we inherited by current council at approximately $3.3 million annually. Today, this council will move forward replacing and repairing through the fund balance. The fund balance will continue to support the capital project budget and also continue to maintain and grow the fund balance. I am very proud to say that I am a member of this council, and the accomplishments must continue as we move forward. Also, we must not pass any debt along to incoming councils. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson.
Thanks. And how are you feeling on your report, Mr. Wilson?
Feeling better.
Foot.
Yeah. Good. Your foot. Okay, good.
Mr. Duncan, floor is yours.
I really don't have much. Just one thing. It breaks my heart when Valerie came up and explained about the kids being hungry at school. I mean, if there's anything I personally or we could do up here, I think that would be great. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Osinko.
Just nothing right now. I will have a more extensive report on Tuesday from the county and some of the things going on at the state. So I'll defer till Tuesday.
Very good. Mr. Harvey.
Just one thing. UPMC East, as you're aware from past meetings, is expanding their emergency room. And that construction is going to start soon. and they are therefore going to close down their heliport. Those helicopter landings are going to begin and start behind number 4 Fire Company. UPMC has installed a FAA-approved landing pad. It's fenced in, it's secured, it is lit. And the lights can come on either manually if the ambulance goes back there to meet them, or the pilot of the helicopter can turn them on when he's approaching. So I wanted everybody to be aware that during that construction phase, the ambulances might be taking patients from UPMC East over there to meet the helicopter or vice versa. And so in case they hear that occurring, probably weekly, they should know that that's going to happen until their renovations are done.
Is that all you have for this evening?
That's it.
Thank you, sir. And that's a great idea for the construction phase. They can very quickly transport from that landing pad because we have EMS right there at number 4 Fire Hall, right to UPMC. So it'll be a very seamless construction period for them. And
but the residents on Northern Pike are going to hear it.
Yes. Thank you for letting us know.
Yeah, more than
Mr. Poach
in the past. Again, I'll have a more extensive report on Tuesday for some other activities that the RAD Steering Committee Board that we're on. But also on a personal note, condolences to Jill Garfolis, the passing of her father, Mr. Keene. It's a family I've known for a number of years. I was sorry to hear that. Over the years, the whole Keene Dairy Farm is a significant part of Monroeville's history for a long time, too. And the good news is be pretty soon happy birthday to my mother, who's 90. He'll be 90. And that's okay. She already sent me an exploding head emoji once this evening, too. So Mom's watching now, too. So, but thank you. That's it for now.
Mrs. Gatos.
First, I would like to bring up Monroeville is going to be sponsoring an Election Day food drive again. We keep trying to get this program up and running. There will be blue recycling cans placed at all of the polling stations. Please bring some canned goods or something with you. We'll all be sent to the food banks. Then again, that also helps all of our residents out. Same as the school is trying to work with, to help the children. This also helps the whole family. So it's very important. And this is the little flyer about it. So please remember, voting day, bring a canned good.
Is that on our website too, Linda?
Not yet, but it will be. Mr.
Okay,
Little, we
thanks,
will
yeah.
have this put up on the website?
Yes.
Thank you. I also would like to pass my condolences along to Jill on the passing of her father. We, of course, all sent our messages, but you still want to recognize it. And lastly, today is my mother's birthday.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mom. And Mom's been a little not feeling so well, so I send my heart of wishes that, she gets better and we figure out what's going on. And with that, that's it for me.
Thank you. And I will echo the condolences to Jill Doxick and her family for the loss of her father. And we have our, as we've been speaking about the past few months here, our 24th annual Jack Sedlak Memorial Cleanup Day. It is Saturday, April 27th, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Select a roadway, park, or neighborhood and wage your own war on litter. You can register now through the Recreation Department. You can stop in here at the Municipal Building, or you can call the Monroeville Recreation Department at 412-856-1006. Groups, families, and individuals are welcome to attend. All participants will receive a free T-shirt. Do we have an image of the T-shirt, Joe? Look at that.
Wow.
That's the
Yellow,
T-shirt
though.
this year.
Oh,
Gonna be
wow.
Yellow instead of green.
They're going to be yellow.
Yeah.
Very visible. Excellent.
Yeah, cool.
It's always a great event, and it's a really a nice way to clean up the community. And then afterwards, there is an appreciation picnic at Monroeville Community Park West. It'll be held right afterwards. There's great food, good company, and many chances to win raffled prizes. I know Mr. Sedlak, they get a lot of donations, and they get a lot of good prizes, and it's a really nice event. So nice job, Joe, and your brother, Jay, as well, for putting this all together every year. So 24th Annual Cleanup Day, that is Saturday, April 27th. You can still register through the Rec Department. And last month, I mentioned congratulations to one of our retiring employees, Michelle Fenwick, which I did, and I'm sure she's still enjoying the retirement, but I failed to mention Pat Barley. Mrs. Pat Barley retired as well, and we wish her the best. I think the problem there is that she tried to retire, and we didn't let her for a while.
She wasn't allowed.
Congratulations,
I think we
Pat.
kept her around as long as we could because she was really filling in some gaps, and we appreciate that. But I want to wish her a very happy retirement, and we thank her for her
And
service.
Michelle too?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
And with that, I will seek a motion to adjourn.
So move.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you, and good night.